What's up, y'all? We are live. Another episode of the Steelers Chat. I am so sorry. Again, trying to make sure we are live everywhere. Everyone can hear us from Instagram, Facebook Live. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. We're on. I said Instagram already, so we're everywhere. I just want to make sure we're all connected. Everybody can hear and see and feel what we got going on here. And I'll get into this little monologue today. So, first things first, the Pittsburgh Steelers win. Okay, they win, and not just any win, a win that we are not familiar with. Okay, 34 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers had 24 points going into that. No, they had 21 points. No, 24 points. Am I making this? Yeah, they only scored 10 in the second half. 24 points going into the half. And they put up an image that said something along the lines of this Pittsburgh Steelers hadn't been that far ahead since had that big of a lead since 2016 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Thought that was also interesting. So I can't wait to talk about it with the group of people that I have today. However, let me highlight a couple of things. Highlight just a couple things I got. First things first, I watched that first quarter, so impressed. So impressed with Mason Rudolph and some of the things and some of the throws that he made. And a play that he made, it wasn't the big arm throw here. 3rd and 5 in the first quarter with about 2 minutes and some change left. You can see him go through the reads, the pocket, the shout out to the offensive line. Well, I'll get to that too. The pocket's collapsing and he, looks to, you can see what he looks to, maybe a first read and possibly a second in the middle of the field before he dumps it to Jalen and he gets that completion. I just loved it. I loved everything about it. It's something simple, but it's also something that we aren't used to seeing, a quarterback kind of just stand in there and make things happen. You could argue that Kenny has done it and did it, but whatever. Then fast forward to that second quarter. That second quarter 44-yard bomb to George Pickens. That I know, look, George Pickens is George Pickens. We've seen George Pickens do what he does a million times, and he can make phenomenal catches. But what we don't get to see often is Mason Rudolph throw the ball from the 13-yard line and get it to George Pickens at like with the 38 or something like that. And it was just a great throw. And I watched it over and over again just to see how he went back and stepped up in the pocket and threw that beautiful ball. And I don't think he gets enough. I think George gets so much credit for the catch. And yes, he made the catch and got his feet in, but that ball was a beauty. And so shout out to Mason Rudolph for getting that done. And then there's a couple Steeler fans out there that do not enjoy the tradition of renegade. Yeah. Uh-huh. So, for those who have a thing against renegade, let me explain something. Top of the fourth quarter, I'm gonna actually run down all the plays that happened right after they played renegade. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna run down all the plays. And I think renegade impacted more than just the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Renegade impacted the Cincinnati Bengals. And by Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, what's his name? What's the man name? Jonah Williams. Yeah, he was struggling. Okay. Jonah Williams was having a really bad day. And let me just run down again because I put him on my phone here. And this ain't that long. So first play, they get the ball at 13-12. 13 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati from their 35, 1st and 10. What's the first play? The first play is a holding on guess who? Jonah Williams, because he can't handle TJ Watt. Okay, so then they get back. They go back. They're from the 25, 1st and 20 from the Cincinnati 25. Second play, what is it? It's another flag. Who is it? Jonah Williams. False start because he's nervous. Okay, he got that renegade juice in the system. Third play is a completion to Brown, the running back Brown, for 6 yards. But look, it's 1st and 25. They It's now it's now second and whatever, second and 19. Next play is an interception by Alex Highsmith. And that is the end of the first drive following Renegade. So I know you guys, there are a lot of people that don't believe in the power of Renegade, but the Renegade was working that night. So I just want to, emphasize the energy that this defense was playing with from TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, the guys up front. Walker had some moments, but he was doing good. Miles Jack came in there and very early in the game, putting on the helmet, commanding that group, that secondary as well, just being a force, and it being his first game back. I really just want everyone to just look on both sides of this team, both sides of the ball here, and understand that this was the first time in a long time we've seen a complete team play football. And with that, I will bring, I know I rambled on for a little long there, but I felt so much. There were just so many good gems out here, from the running back. Like, I think every single receiver touched the ball, minus Pat Fryermuth. Boykins got the ball. Calvin got the ball. Deontay, they didn't connect as well as I would like them to, but he got a touch on the ball. We know George Pickens did. I said Boykins. Robinson has some balls. Everybody almost touched the ball except for Pat. But I'll bring y'all up and we'll talk about it. And yes, before Dane even gets up on here and tries to say anything, he did say that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to score 20 points. Y'all hear me? He said that. However, he also said they were going to lose. What's up, Dane?
You just had to add that one, didn't you?
I did. You know I had to. I hope you're doing well. We got David. We got Kev from Steelers for Summer Podcast. We got my guy from Pitts and Push. And Dex is out here listening. Dex, you have to come on camera and stuff if you want to join us today. How y'all doing? We got a nice little group today.
Kind of crew.
Yeah, I love it. We got a lot to talk
Steelers,
about.
baby.
So I will start with, that was a hideous laugh, by the way. I hate it. I'm going to start with a couple of things. 34 points. How y'all feel about these 34 points? We haven't scored 34 points in what feels like ages. Was it refreshing to see 24 points and a half, and then in the game with a 3 in the front? And not just a 3 in the back.
Yeah, it felt good.
It
felt good. It needs to happen again.
You said it needs to happen again?
Let me not say that. I hope it happens again. That sounds better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let me not be demanding.
I'm not.
How shocked were you that we hit 30? Would you say, Dane?
I'm not surprised because I called it.
I'm not surprised because you called it. Okay. Thank you, Dane. We appreciate you and your hard work. Really do.
Me being the guy that played this
I wish you could have been there. I wish you could have been at that game. Go ahead, Dex.
I just said, me being a guy that played the sport, you know what I mean? I look at everything so analytical through like a player's eyes, a coach's eyes. So I just felt like, all right, we got this fixed. We got to fix every little thing so we can carry this thing forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even really get to enjoy it. Like, oh my God, 34 points. I was like, how did we get to this 34 points? How do we keep getting 34 points?
Well, you know, just the way it started on the second play of the first possession, and it was like a little slant, and then that was all Pickett after that, or Pickens.
David, they got us right back with that, and going into the second half, right, with the Higgins play, it just felt like the tables had turned. And I don't know about you guys, but I got a little nervous. I was like, oh my God, are we really gonna, we're gonna let them come back in the game so fast? Like, I think that place got dead quiet when that Higgins that play happened. But
I actually didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel nervous. I felt like we controlled the whole game.
I think they came out the energy for the offense to come out and start with that type of success. I think the energy was different. I think it was uplifting to the defense to know that, as Dex has said, as somebody that played, when you know that you can rely on the other side of the ball to take care of their business and you go out and do yours, I think it was a weight. And I think it kind of carried the defense into that game momentarily. Like, you know what? We can actually play with our ears down and just play fast to the ball and don't have to really worry about us winning the game for us.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I know, Kev, you were saying last week that you wanted them to come out and like act like they wanted to win this game. They wanted to be there and they wanted this win. Did you see that from
Yeah,
them?
I definitely did, man. When you see plays like Mason, you feel me, on when he tucked it and run. Like, it was one of those situations like, yo, man, he could have saved himself, but nah, he dove for it. He got the first down. And the Jalen Warren block for Calvin Austin. That's Pittsburgh Steeler, smash mouth, smack you in the face. We here right now. This is our crib. Respect our land. You feel me? That type of football. Like plays like that, I was like, yeah, okay, they won it.
And even Firemuth on that same play blocked.
Yeah.
I think it was
drove him right out of bounds.
pushed him right out of bounds. I was shocked about that.
I think the momentum actually started before then, right? Because if you look at Dex, and being analytical, if you just watch the way Mason was reading the defense, it was like he wasn't going to his first read option, and because that wasn't there, he dumped it down to the safe route, which typically is the running back. He literally was going through the route tree and was coming back to it at some times. So it was like his head was literally on the swivel every single snap.
Yeah. So look, I agree with that with Mason, and just rewatching it back now and seeing just his poise. And I know it's a word that gets overused when they're talking about quarterbacks, but he had it. He had it, and those deep balls. And there was another one to George Pickens, and was that still in the second half or in the first half? And I feel like it still was in the first half that they missed, where he had his toes in, and it was a fastball. But man, listen, those balls were just amazing. And
Ball placement.
the ball
Ball
placement.
placement is important when there's, especially when you're talking in that particular situation. It was literally my player is going to get it or is going out of bounds. And one thing about George is that we're all clear on. George is talented. Nobody has ever disputed his talent. And when he played like he played last week, it reignites what we've seen from him as a rookie. And it was exciting to see.
Yeah. And I was happy for George because it was like redemption. All the noise that was going on. I didn't try to pay. I couldn't help but see some of it because it was literally everywhere. I was in the airport looking at like the silence, the screen of a Shannon Sharp and other people spending lots and lots of time talking about George Pickens, and then leading into Mike Tomlin. And I just felt like it was overkill, like it usually always is. I feel like every week there's something or somebody that they have to highlight that didn't do something. A couple weeks ago was Deontay Johnson's lack of effort on a Jalen Warren fumble, and this week it was George Pickens not blocking for Jalen Warren. And for whatever reason he said he didn't do it, whatever, it didn't happen, and we all got to collectively move on. But versus then I saw something saying that Jalen Warren said I would have did it. So then everybody runs with that. Like, well, Jalen said he would block for him, but why would he block for Jalen? Like, stop. They bring Jalen on third down when they're passing plays because Jalen will block and knock somebody over. Like, that's just how he plays the ball game. Anyway, so
player.
Yeah, like that's just weird to me to cause some type of division because that man said he would do what he does on a regular basis out there on the field. Okay, so Mason, I know we kind of got into the Mason Rudolph talk, but Mason Rudolph having 193 yards and a half was just extremely impressive. We were a team in the very beginning of the season that didn't show up until the second half. And to really just go in knowing that your QB, I said in my prediction video, I was like, Mason, go out there and throw for 400 yards. I didn't know he was going to really, really try to go out there and throw for 400 yards. I was kind of joking a little bit, but man, I mean, just to have almost 200 at the half, I just couldn't be happier for him.
I think for Mason, when when you look at Mason's career thus far, it's marred with a lot of error, right? So we don't look at him as success. I think when you have a player that really is he's just out there playing, he's not thinking about mistakes. He's
Mhm.
like, what's the worst that can happen? And he played free,
Mhm.
and when he played free, he took care of the ball. It looked like he was having fun in the process of doing it as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the word poise before, D, and I think the way I would describe it is he did not bail out of the pocket. He stayed in the
Yeah.
pocket, and what we've seen from his his colleagues, his teammates, is sometimes they would bail out of the pocket too early,
Mhm.
and that's the way I would describe that poise.
I mean, the offensive line played a lot better. Isaac, how you say? Hold on.
So
Sayamalu.
Malu.
So
Say
Malu,
Malu. I have my little cheat sheet. I don't know where I put it at. But Sayamalu, he had a great game to me. He had some really great blocks for guys, just created some good holes, whether it was for Jalen, whether it was for Najee. Like, I just think he did some good work on Saturday. And Mason Cole, I think, he had a solid game. I know we've given him a lot of grief over the last couple of weeks. He did good. I think the line overall did their job. Um, wait, Dex?
I've been waiting for this. I've been going back and forth on Twitter. I've been going for
Okay,
on other podcasts. Let me
okay.
tell you something. Mason Cole, he gotta go lift or something. I a stickler. I play D line, and I'm a stickler for watching just the trenches, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this: our line isn't the reason why I feel like Mason Cole or any of our quarterbacks could have success if they stayed in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Our line isn't built for running around and blocking for a quarterback that's so quick to escape to the left or the right. Number one, I feel like because this is a new regime as far as offensive linemen and QB, they haven't built that camaraderie. Like you got to look at our lines of the past. Like they built that camaraderie with Ben. When Ben would escape, they knew.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know. I was watching Ramon Foster's podcast, and he had mentioned that when Ben rolled to the left, he kind of felt that. So that pocket kind of like almost shifted. Same thing with Willie. With Willie Colon.
Come on. Mm-hmm.
They kind of you have to build that. Almost like I feel like, all right, I did my job, but my guy's still here. Ben is going to run. You know what I mean, or move. So let me move. This line right now, they haven't built that camaraderie with the with any of those QBs. Let alone Mason. And I feel like Mason comes from old school. Mason came up under Ben. You understand? He knows to stay in that pocket. So it's like
So we
when
got
you
young boy
are
out here said Mason Cole needs some milk. I can't. I don't know if you guys can see
yo.
the comments. Hi, hi, kid. Hi,
Let me tell you something.
Ali.
Mason, I seen one play Mason get thrown
he
back
got
like he was a
thrown.
safety
Yeah,
playing. Like he got
yeah.
lifted out of there, like bounced out the club. And I've seen it too many times. I'm sick of Mason. Mason
Well,
is
So
you mentioned
the
Isaac.
center is. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to mention you had talked about Isaac Sayamalu before, and my seats are over by the end zone, and there was this one play he went down and he got up and he was just in anguish. I could see his face,
Hmm.
and he took a step toward the sideline, and I'm thinking he's going out, and then
Mm,
he just kind of spun around and went right back into the huddle, and he played. I'm pretty sure he played 100% of the snaps,
mm,
and that was pretty early in the game. So he's playing in a lot of pain, and I tell you, I really admire that.
for sure.
He's really gutting it out. It was hard to see because I mean you could just see his face and the anguish in his face, and it was like he took that step, and I'm thinking, oh no, and
You
then he
lost
just
them.
kind of spun around and said, no, I'm not giving up on this game.
Man, I was really impressed with what I, recently just saw. And it had me really thinking about a few things. I'm not gonna get into my spicy. Y'all want my spicy take now? Y'all want my spicy take later? I'll let
right
y'all pick.
now.
You want the spicy take now? Okay. Again,
Yeah.
hi everybody that's listening. Before I get in this spicy take does not necessarily reflect my personal feelings. This is just an observation that I made, and I just wanted to highlight this. It's not my personal thing, y'all. You know, I like to play a little devil's advocate. Okay, so Minka Fitzpatrick. Let me go to the board here. I got my stats here. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won 4 games with Minka Fitzpatrick. The Pittsburgh Steelers have lost, I'll say 4.5 games because 2 of those games he got hurt in, so I count him as half games, even though he got really hurt early in the Jacksonville game. So they lost four technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 6 games they lost. Minka Fitzpatrick came out and started it. Okay, he suited and booted for all 6 of these games, but he only finished 4 of them. The losses for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, and then they won 4 games without Minka Fitzpatrick.
I wasn't reading too much into that.
Yeah, that's too much.
I'm not reading
That's
too
too
much
much.
into that. I'm not
Peterson
reading
is
into.
playing
I'm not
well.
reading in that. Yeah, I'm not. We
And
need
the
Minka.
games they 2 of the games they lost with Minka Fitzpatrick. I'll bring Dex back up if Dex is still here. They 2 of the games they lost with Minka Fitzpatrick, there was no absolute way for him to like get any interceptions. I mean, it was very difficult for him to get interceptions because of his hand situation, right? Or 3 of those games because the Colts game as well. I think his hand was still wrapped up. So you're not reading into any of it. It doesn't strike anything for you because I tell you right now, if you play X of those games without a TJ Watt, maybe we would be having a different conversation.
Nah,
Let's see,
I'm not
Peterson,
reading too much
Peterson
into
is
that.
feeling pretty good about
Me
it.
neither.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Minka's a centerpiece to that defense. I'm not reading too much into that.
No.
Nope.
I mean,
think it's
he's certainly missed, but I look at what Patrick Peterson did
Peterson is doing very well.
in Eric Rowe, you know, coming in at safety. I mean, for them to step in like that and what they did, I think that was pretty awesome. They really stepped up. And Minka is, like Pitt said, he's a centerpiece of that defense. But I got to say, wow, Patrick Peterson, good job. Eric Rowe,
great job.
good job. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great job.
and you got to think about it like this. Minka was playing kind of like 2 positions at the same time. You know, he's playing safety and he was playing linebacker because he knew we were short. We were short-handed. You know,
Not
and
even
then,
short-handed, just we were lacking stopping the run. We didn't have we were short-handed up front with Cam being gone, right? So you had to
Yeah,
pick
and
up the slack
linebackers.
with helping with the run. We weren't
And
playing
linebackers.
Elandon like that. He wasn't getting the snaps. Cole Holcomb was in there and Quan and all that. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know, he was just really picking up. And then at the time, I think Joey wasn't doing his best tackling either. So I'm sorry, Dex. I did cut you off.
no, you hit the nail on the head. Like I was just saying, he's playing like prime Minka was like 2 years ago. You know, he was able to be back there and do what he do. You know, say picks and all that things, and it's kind of hard to do that when you got to be the thumper and try to make picks too. Like then you got to choose which one is more important. They're running against us, stopping the run, or trying to, hope that our mid-level linebackers, I should say, going to do their job. And clearly the middle has been a gaping hole for us for some time now.
And for the record, y'all know Minka Fitzpatrick is my favorite Pittsburgh Steeler. I looked at the numbers. I was extremely curious. Those are the numbers. I'm not. I was curious to see what you guys thought about it. I think next year is going to be a better year for Minka, and I'm saying that in a way where if this Corey Trice gets in this game, he's still a lot on the sidelines. He's got to educate himself. Joey Porter is now kind of really vested in this. If they bring back a Patrick Peterson, I don't remember what his deal was, but I feel like he got to move and groove and find his way and be able to help this defense more so now than what we saw from him in the beginning. Like it was still just like a learning thing for him. And I guess they all had to learn where to use him too, right? But I think if you could get all those guys out there healthy, they could be a problem. They may be on the older side of what you see with the Baltimore Ravens, if you add it all up and divide by, how many guys are out there. But they may be a little bit more older because who do they have out there? Stevenson, Marlon,
Stone,
Hamilton,
and Stone.
Gino.
I mean, they're younger, but when you talk about a healthy secondary, I mean, when you talk about Patrick Peterson, and I like what Dave was saying about Eric Rowe and Pat playing, this week, they definitely filled that void. For Eric Rowe to come in off the practice squad, his angles was good. He was taking, like, his tackling was sound. And then even on that pick, he read the quarterback's eyes on that play because that wasn't even his actual zone area. So they did a great job, and not to mention Eric has been in the league for a while. So, that's nothing new to him to be in those positions.
How about the Steelers being able to do that? Like, it's very hard to do that in the QB situation to me, like to just plug and play QBs. We've seen it being done recently with like a Joe Flacco, and I mean, Jake Browning had some pretty decent games outside of the one and stuff. But for the defenders, for your linebackers and your safeties, and to be able to come in here and be playmakers, you saw, Eric Rowe, you saw
Miles Jack,
Mr. Jack,
Miles Jack, and then Walker had an interception, even though he wasn't playing his best in coverage and all that stuff. He had an interception. What game was that? The Patriots game?
That was against the Patriots when they got caught by Zeke.
Yeah, so like they've come in and made some Steeler-like plays. So what does that say to the guys that are recruiting, that are scouting and getting them in? I don't know if it's just Omar and team. I don't know if Coach Tomlin has a call in it. Like, what does that say to that room of guys that are picking these guys up from practice squads or off their couch to get them in there and get them in the game and making plays?
I mean, it says a lot about the vets that's on the team, like Watt, Highsmith, Minka. They're helping them out, putting them in the right positions. Being the quarterbacks, not just having one quarterback, having multiple quarterbacks on the defensive end, helping them out. So they're not on an island by themselves, And yes, I mean, I guess you can give Khan a little bit of credit in that aspect, but I think it's. Go ahead.
Dan, are you not going to give Tomlin no credit, Dan?
I told you Dan is a fan favorite.
No, I was just messing with because I know how much you ready for him to go. I was just saying, because as a head coach, because as a head coach,
I don't know what happened to my phone, but I'm not sure.
Yes. Sorry. I think you got an echo, Dan.
So, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Somebody has an echo, but yeah.
Tomlin had them ready. They came out strong. They came out tough. They came out prepared. Finally, it took them to have their backs against the wall to finally come out ready to play. If they would have did that 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't be worrying about the playoffs. But at any rate,
I'm not gonna lie. That feedback is crazy.
Yeah, you got feedback. Hold on, I'm gonna drop you and come back. There's somebody else.
Here, let me mute mine. See if it's mine.
I think it is Dane. Hold on, sorry. I'm gonna bring him down and bring him back up and see if that helps. But just because I know people are listening, they're probably hurting their ears. I'm gonna bring him back up here in a second.
That's cricket.
But no, we got to get him to do that again because Dane was out here giving props to Mike Tomlin, y'all. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
I know the feedback was
he got no choice though. Keep it going, brother.
Uh-oh.
You're on mute, Dane.
You on
mute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Drop out and drop back and come back. You got feedback. All right.
No Tomlin slander. What is he doing?
No, you know. Oh,
He
and
one of
while
those,
he's doing
but
that,
he one of
someone,
those.
a young boy, asked about the Jalen Smith
I like it.
signing,
I like it.
Salute to
and
him. I hope he's successful.
I was with David last night in his Steelers town hall on Clubhouse, and when I got the news. So I got the news that Jalen Smith was going to be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I told the Steelers town hall people, and it actually hadn't hit yet. And so maybe like, I don't know, 30 minutes later it hit. Maybe.
Yeah, I like it. I've been a fan of his since he was at Notre Dame.
Okay.
I like Jalen. Yeah, I like Jalen.
I haven't watched Jalen. He was in Dallas. How long was he in Dallas for?
Nah, he was a solid linebacker. He just got
he was
hurt.
in Dallas about 3-4 years. It was injuries that kept him out of the lineup.
Okay.
But
I
he
think
was
that
good.
this
He
is
was
one
good.
of the nice things with the 16-player practice squad, because they sign up to the practice squad as they did Miles Jack, as they did Eric Rowe. And so I guess other teams do it as well, but it's taking advantage of stashing some vets on there so that when you need them, you can bring them up.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this right here on the screen. We're going to go back because we had feedback when you were talking, Dave. So listen, this is our guy, Jeremy. He couldn't make it tonight, but he is here in the comments with us. So I'm super happy. Hey, Jeremy. This is for you, Dave. The people want to know, you said Tomlin had him ready. You know, you got to speak to it.
You saw a totally different team last Sunday. Like,
was he fighting for his job?
No.
I don't think he's fighting for his job. Do I think he should be fighting for his job? Yeah. But come on, you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going.
Oh my God.
This is amazing.
He's fighting to stay 500. But anyway.
Wow.
I respect that he's standing on it. I respect
it. That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say.
He wrong, but I respect it.
He's standing
he
on
don't
it
sound
hard.
like the other ones. He don't sound like the other ones, you know.
Them flip floppers.
And Dane is also, he's away from the comeback.
Like jacking them.
Because you know,
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out what happened the last 3 weeks. Why this week? We all of a sudden
forget about Mason this week.
Forget about Mason for the second. For the last 3 weeks, why did we not play this way?
I mean, you really.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. He allowed his team to take these teams for granted. He didn't have them ready. They even said it on interviews that they took them for granted. They wasn't ready to prepare. They wasn't prepared for the game, and that's a product of the coach.
But that's not his fault.
That's not. That's
the players,
you don't.
Man.
You don't blame that on the coach. That like
why were they ready this week?
But no, listen.
It's on the grown-ups.
So why were they ready this week?
On the as a foreign player,
So
like
why were they ready this week?
When it comes to the game, my coach used to always tell me, if I gotta motivate you to get ready for a game, then you can't be out there on the field playing for me. And they're getting paid for this. They're getting paid for this.
So what's the
Chuck Noll 101? If I got to motivate you, then I'm going to find another player.
Yeah,
I love that because if we go, you know, we go a little bit west, Dane. If we go a little bit west, let me ask you what's going on in Kansas City. Is this the Andy Reid problem?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Why do we have a head coach? Is what I want to know.
Because you know what's funny?
What's going on in Kansas City? Is that an Andy Reid problem? Are you on camera?
Denver got a Sean Payton problem.
Right.
Yo, Sean Payton is a different story.
They didn't. I don't think it's an Andy Reid problem. I think they don't have enough players on the wide receiver end. They don't have the wide receivers. So if you want to say Reid didn't get the wide receivers in the offseason.
But they never really had wide receivers. They had Tyreek and everybody else.
Tyreek, but they didn't replace him though. They didn't do anything to replace him.
You can't replace him.
Right.
Maybe not.
No, my thing is, I think if you want to touch on Kansas real quick, I think the difference maker with Kansas City is their play calling. You know, a lot of times people said Eric Bieniemy didn't call plays, Andy Reid called plays, but they shared those duties. Now, when you look at the play calling real suspect on some of the things they do. It looked like Matt Canada out there in somebody's ear telling them what to do as well.
But are we looking at Andy Reid?
Yeah, we looking at Andy
Of course
Reid.
not.
You're looking at
I don't
Andy.
think
That's
anybody's
Nobody
looking at Andy
Reid,
Kansas
man.
City. Kansas City, we looking at Andy. We don't look at Andy Reid because he's quiet, and I personally
They're
don't
not
even
looking
listen
at
to his
Andy Reid.
interviews.
Nobody's
But
saying
for
what is
Pitts,
Andy Reid doing wrong.
The big dogs ain't talking about
I
Andy
get it.
Reid like they talk about
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin when
Nah.
the
Because
Steelers
Mike,
slip up.
you got to look at it. Mike Tomlin is more of a forefront person. Like, you understand? Like, he's a. You never heard of Andy Reidisms? You get what I'm
Andy
saying? Like,
Reid be
Tomlin is a forefront face figure. So
We
it's
just see him
like
on State Farm.
yeah,
exactly.
like we see him in commercials.
I think of
That's
cheeseburgers when I
equal.
see Andy Reid. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I
I
wasn't
think
gonna
of
say
a
that. You feel me?
walrus.
I wasn't gonna say it because I ain't want to be the rude one up here. You feel me? So I'm glad
I
you did that, D.
do. It just
Salute.
I just think of like a warm cheeseburger. When I think of Andy Reid.
But can I
But
say something to Dan and in regards to what Dan was saying? So when we talk about those 3 games, yes, we did players come out and say that very first game that we took them for granted, right? Then we came out against New England. We underperformed then. Then we came out against Indianapolis. But I don't think the mindset from that first loss was a mindset for those 3 losses. I think the team just didn't execute as we didn't execute in other games. When we're not executing and nothing's going right and we're one dimensional, even in that game against Indianapolis, when we decided to punt the ball instead of kick the field goal, nobody's thinking Percy Harvin is going to kick a 22-yard punt. We're thinking we're going to get them down in the, between the 5 and the 10-yard line
Presley.
and let the defense. Yeah, Presley, my fault.
Yeah.
When
I always mess
Presley
his name up.
Harvin,
Percy
when
Harvin
Presley
was
punted, we thinking that okay,
yeah,
we
we
going
ain't
to
gonna
give
do
us
that.
our
We ain't gonna do
defense.
that to Percy. We're not gonna.
But no, that didn't work. So, I think this past game, all 3 phases worked well together. That was a complete game all the
team.
way around.
It's been a long time since I just saw everybody do their job and finish, and the crowd wasn't restless over the 3 and outs because one, we had a lead, those 3 and outs are painful when you're in that stadium. They were a little like this much frustrating because we just had this
Mason really
lead, right? So for the crowd there, yeah, they were yelling Mason. And they were doing it at the wrong times. Like the offense is on the field and you could hear Mason, man. I'm like, shut up. So he can hear what's going on in his helmet. That was a little frustrating, but people were just excited. They were just excited. We hadn't done or had the complete game that we had in so long. And I really do want to talk to you guys about who do you think right now we're towards the end. If you had to put a vote in for a guy to be the Steelers MVP, who would it be to you for you guys? I'll start with David.
For the season up until
for
now?
the season.
For the season,
TJ
Warren.
TJ
Highsmith.
easy.
TJ.
so
TJ
David, who's
easy.
yours? Let me go around.
Well,
TJ.
On
Let's stop
offense,
playing, y'all.
I would
TJ
say
Watt.
Jalen
Let's stop
Warren
playing.
on offense. I would say Jalen Warren he's really been playing total football, and on defense, it's got to be one of the edge players, TJ or Highsmith, and I would probably edge toward TJ. I mean, because he just the
Well, I
example.
said pick one, and y'all you didn't pick about 2.5.
This game, tackled, and then he's still focused and got a strip sack. I mean, he's just amazing. So between those two, between Jalen, who I would have on offense, and TJ on defense, I would go with TJ overall.
TJ's his Fitz.
I say, although I understand why everyone would pick TJ, I just think Highsmith from a perspective of when I watch Highsmith, he has a never-ending motor. He is relentless. He doesn't just give you a speed rush. He gives you a spin. He gives you an underneath and not only that, like his QB pressures, his hits, his strip sacks, like a lot of the things that TJ is basically, because TJ was eating before Highsmith. But when you have somebody like Highsmith on the other side, it's hard for teams to double TJ and let Highsmith go one-on-one. So he's creating an advantage for TJ as well as himself. So I say Highsmith just for the simple fact that he's been solid consistently for the last couple of years. He may not
And
get the
two interceptions,
accolades.
y'all.
He may not get the accolades and
Going
the
into
high
coverage.
praise like TJ, but he's nice on the field for us.
He's
Oh,
balling. He is balling. Go ahead, Dane. Who's your? Oh, are you there?
His is Tomlin.
Okay. Go ahead,
Look,
Dex.
sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's all right to pick Michael Jordan every year as the best player of all time, man, or the best player in the league. It's TJ, man.
It's
Y'all
TJ
just
for
trying
you,
to make
Kev?
conversation. TJ.
It's
It's TJ. TJ literally is the reason why we won some games. Like, for real. Like, if TJ was missing like Minka, we lose all those games. Every single one of those games. Everyone eats off of TJ on defense. Everybody.
Do you think TJ eats off Alex?
TJ, man. Don't be like the people in the media, man. Y'all know TJ's that guy.
Now, do you think
sets the
TJ eats off
standard, man.
Alex?
He's getting triple team.
Do you think he eats off Alex?
He can, but he's.
I think
not like how Alex is eating off of him. Not like how Cam is eating off of him.
Dex, who's yours? Is your TJ
It's
too,
not
Dex?
even. Alex Highsmith. I like how Alex Highsmith eating, bro.
So I really want to go with Jaylen Warren here. And I know TJ is undeniably just a great player. You cannot deny the things that TJ does. But just from an overall perspective of what Jaylen has brought to this offense and the way he's extended things and given, just a breath of fresh air to the quarterback. Like, you really got to see what he's doing, how he's blocking for a Kenny or whoever else is in there. Jaylen is sacrificing himself in ways that you don't see. And that was one of the things I loved about Juju Smith-Schuster. People are like, oh, he's not a wide receiver number one, but the things Juju would do with his body to sacrifice for his teammate is hard to recognize unless you're looking at the tape. It's not with the catches, it's not the yard, it's not the touchdowns. It's what are you doing to make everybody around you better? And I'm not saying TJ's not doing that, but I'm seeing the things that Jaylen does, how he gets open, how he helps the quarterback extend drives where there may have not been anything there, and keep the team on the field. We don't stay on the field. We haven't had many points, but he has contributed to the wins and them staying on the field longer. And I think we've just been so. I'm not gonna say the M word. We just been lackluster on offense. He's been a flame for us. Najee has been good, but I feel like Jaylen has just been a firecracker for us that we needed on offense. Defense is getting paid all the money to be spectacular. And for a guy undrafted guy to come in there and be that firecracker in his second year, I don't know. I gotta consider Najee here. This is not even me looking at the stats, not telling you how many carries or touchdowns or yards he has or whatever. This is just me seeing the heart that kid plays with on that field.
He's accountable.
K. Brian.
He's accountable. Even when he slipped in the end zone on that handoff, and then we go down the other way, and he make that crucial block to free up Calvin. I mean, he's relentless.
Plays with a lot of heart. I mean, you don't think that kind of strength comes from that physique because he just seems like the smallest guy out there. Calvin's a pretty small guy too. But I mean, I would, in my heart, and knowing how much he's been fined and penalized, and knowing what his quote unquote salary is, and seeing this guy still go out there and make these blocks and tackles for these guys, knowing that the league has already dinged him up a few times, and we see what happens to Monte KZ. I don't know. I can't overlook him when it comes to the MVP of this team. I just can't. I get it. Look, don't get me wrong. I love TJ. TJ is a game wrecker. Okay. What's my man name that was struggling? Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams, no. Okay, Jonah Williams was having a day. He wanted to call us in sick on Saturday. Jonah Williams ain't want to be over there. He's like, this ain't even my position. I ain't even supposed to be here. Jonah Williams was having a time battling TJ Watt. And sorry to that man, but we got that W.
I just think we
All
wouldn't
right.
have been 7-4 without Highsmith and TJ. I think they should be co-MVPs. Warren definitely stepped up, but without the defense, we scored 16 points a game. So without the defense, I don't think I wouldn't even be close to even thinking about going to the playoffs at this point. So.
I mean, the Cleveland Brown game with Deshaun Watson, the defense single-handedly pretty much, helped us win that game. Like we were struggling. They did that for us. So in that particular game,
definitely.
Yeah, that particular game. And if you look at TJ in the LA game, if what else? I mean, just even in instances where you need the team to move backwards, TJ for some reason figures out a way to make that play. I don't know how, but it's just consistent. It's almost like it's on cue. It's like, okay, we need y'all to be, you need to push him out of field goal range. We need a sack. We need something. And he just comes and out of nowhere and gets, I don't know how he does it.
They just complement each other so well, Highsmith and Watt. I won't say that without Highsmith, Watt wouldn't be anything. Without Watt, I don't know about Highsmith, but they just complement each other so well. And I just think they're the core MVPs at this point.
I think I agree with the post that's on the screen. When you talk about when you think of one of the other things about
TJ, they
Jaylen
make you
Warren,
apologize for you great.
when you think about Jaylen Warren, the other thing that I think that makes him so good is that when he gets hit, he always falls forward. It's very seldom that you see Jaylen get hit and go backwards, or it takes more than one person to tackle him. He's not making it easy on the defense. That's another thing about Jaylen that I love about him is that, he's always leaning forward and he's never going down off the first hit.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
Special teams contributions.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, our secondary just wasn't good. So I know Young Boy saying our defense has put us in bad situations. The people that put us in bad situations, we're not talking about. So that middle of the field and secondary, that's not, the pass rushers aren't doing that. And we have noticed that if the pass rushers can't get there and can't bring the pressure, we're screwed in a sense because the middle of the field has been exploited. Our our DBs aren't the best, but and we've gone through a lot of injuries and stuff. But we know when those guys can't get there, there is a problem for us. We know that.
And I think that's just across the board in the NFL, right? Because if you look at the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas secondary was praised so much. Bland is pick six king of the year. But the thing was, Dallas front seven was getting pressure constantly. But you seen what happened when Dallas front seven could no longer get pressure, and it put those defensive backs on an island. To now they literally have to cover step for step. So it creates a disadvantage now and an exposure that you may not have seen early on because the defensive line, and when like in football, the trenches is where the game is won every time because it's either the D line or the O line. Like a lot of people don't give those positions a lot of credit because that's where the meat on the bone is at. Where my coach used to say, that's where the meat on the bone is at. The D line and O line. Whoever won it more, you'll know who's going to win the game.
Can I?
Go ahead, Dex. I'm sorry, you were
cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody called me. But I wanted to give my MVP. I did say TJ only for the simple fact that the way he's reffed is like second to none. I've never seen any other player, not number 11 from Dallas, not number 98 from Raiders. They don't deserve to get their name said on this show. But they don't get ref how TJ gets refs. You understand? Like I literally seen TJ in chokeholds. We all seen it. You know, when we
They was
played
fucking this dude.
three guys all over him, one on his arm, one on his really
Can we
wrapped
have
him
that
up.
debate? Can we have that debate? Because the Micah Parsons thing, I would love to talk about that. Micah Parsons is upset because he hasn't got a holding call and I don't know how many plays or what quarters, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what happens when you're labeled the best at something, right? And you know, God, they're gonna double and triple team you. I'm sorry, the ref's gonna look the other way. Like
All the
it's
time.
just that's just what's been happening in the league. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying if you want that title as the best, that's what comes with it.
TJ don't even complain anymore. I think the refs go like, "Come on, TJ, it's you." Like, you know, like they feel like they gotta help the other team out because I promise you, it's done so much that it's like you're going to see it at least 5 times in every single game.
Well, you know, the penalty against Dan Moore was
that was
nothing
ridiculous
compared to what was happening to TJ Watt. So it's
That
like
was
they're
ridiculous.
leveling the field. I mean, because to me, the penalty against Moore was like, what did he do?
Yeah.
And
I'm
you
not
see the
saying
guys
right.
hooking Highsmith and Watt around the neck.
Mhm.
I don't
And
get it.
then Capo, whatever his name is on the Bengals, he fell. Dan Moore had him, and he fell. He slipped. So it looked like he pushed him to the ground. But if you check the replay, I don't understand why we have replay. I don't understand why we have New York. I don't understand what they're there for. I mean, you can't call everything, but some things are just blatant. Like he did not hold him. You get what I'm saying? He fell. And if we can see that on regular TV, what are they doing?
Yeah, but then look at what's happening to Watt and Highsmith on the other side. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So Micah, don't get me wrong, honey. Like if it's part, it comes with it. It's like you buy the jewelry and somebody might want to rob you. So you like it comes with it.
Good analogy. Good analogy. You want the bling?
You want to wear the chain, somebody might try to come and snatch it. I'm trying to just say what goes with it. Dane, I kind of, what did you feel about George Pickens going into the game and coming out of the game? I want to hear from Dane. I feel like, and then I'm going to Kev because I feel like I haven't heard much from you, Kev, tonight.
So I know you're trying to set me up, but I'll say this. I thought George Pickens should have been sacked at least. I didn't. I wanted him to be benched for the game. I would have been all right with a quarter, but I wanted some type of discipline for saying out loud that I'm not going to support my teammate. I'm not going to block my teammate because I didn't want to get hurt. That's just not something you should say. That's not something you should do. And if you're thinking it, you don't say it. You don't say it out loud. So to me, I'm sorry.
Kev said he ain't say that.
What did he say?
He paraphrased it. But in terms, that's what he said. And, okay. I mean, I guess in terms what Dana is saying, that's basically the way he perceived it because he said, I didn't want to get injured. And, you know,
what football player says that?
I've never heard anybody say that I've ever played with.
You should have been benched.
I don't think he should have been benched, though. I don't think he should have been benched.
Bitching your number one wide receiver.
It's not even about being a number one wide receiver. It's more so that it's the principle and letting him grow through it. You know, like you got to give him those chances.
NFL, bro. It's the NFL. Like, y'all talking about college and high school stuff, bro. Like this is the NFL. You're not gonna
play a little game with me, Dave. What if
we don't even know if he got fined or not? He could have got fined.
Hold on.
What are we gonna do? Just let players do what they want to do? Is that how this works now?
Let me ask you, Dane. What if they say? What if they
only respond while you taking their bread? That's it.
What if they pre-coach
maybe they will respond if you threaten their bread. Maybe they will wake up and do
Dane,
something.
hold on. Let me ask this question. What if they pre-coach him and the PR team, media comes and says, hey, they probably gonna ask you about that block and not block. Here are some things that you can say to answer that question.
Okay.
You didn't want to get hurt. You were, trying to get out the way.
He need a new PR team.
What if that happened, Dane, are you going to bench a guy because he took the advice of Steelers personnel?
You think Steelers personnel told him to say, "I didn't want to get hurt"?
I cannot say that they didn't, because what a lot of people don't know is that they do kind of pre-coach guys. Like, look, they probably gonna say this or that. Just be prepared for this. You can say that. You can. They do try to cushion these guys. They don't want these guys going out. They don't want those guys going out there just saying anything.
Yeah, but he's still saying anything. You know why? Because Tomlin said he spoke to him, and then he gets on and
said that.
Tomlin ain't say nothing. What conversation? I ain't had no conversation. It was like, and then that's why it looks like they say Tomlin losing the locker room, because how are you not in cohesion with whatever your head coach is saying? And Tomlin spoke beforehand.
But what Tomlin did, Dex, is that he had given his regular Tuesday conference on Monday. Then they talked to Pickens, and then he said that kind of like meeting with Tomlin. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then Tomlin came back, and then publicly, which was unusual. But then he kind of said, "Well, hey,
and that's PR. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's
Pickens
PR.
has some maturity issues."
And
part of what Tomlin said. But then it was kind of like, "Hey, I'm taking it in house." And so what we don't know is whether there was punishment. There wasn't public punishment, but we don't know.
I don't know if the case was hard or not, man.
But if I'm getting reprimanded for something I did wrong, I'm not coming out to the media and saying, "Oh yeah, I talked with Coach and we had a good conversation and he told me I was wrong and I'm going to do better." I don't care. I don't care to give y'all that.
I wanted him benched.
I'll tell you whatever.
I felt that he should have been benched. That was my opinion. But Mike Tomlin, he decided to play him, and whatever he talked to him about, and whether he
can I ask y'all a question?
He did between George and
because he's a player.
Can y'all name a player? My fault, Dave.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Can y'all name a player that got benched? Can y'all name a player that got benched? A star player that got benched? A star player on their team that got benched.
Chukwueze Okorafor got benched because of something he said.
Who? He's not a star player. He's not a star player. Can you name a star player in the NFL that got benched?
So
they didn't even bench Antonio Brown.
The Patriots,
a star player
before the Super Bowl.
They're a star player.
The Patriots quarterback before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who?
Right. Number what's his name? God.
They benched him right before the Super Bowl.
I know you're talking about. He was benched.
That's close. I give you that. And I'll throw in there, the Patriots don't really count. The Patriots don't really count. They'll fire you for sneezing wrong.
I think Ocho Cinco got benched for like a quarter.
Did they win,
if that star is up in space somewhere.
Yeah, he might bench you for a series. Like at least that Tomlin might take you out of a game. Like he took JPJ out of a game for a couple of plays or whatever for getting up. Like he'll take you out for a series, but you're not getting benched.
Right. So this is my thing.
I'm just telling you.
What does that do though? You gonna take me out of series? That's like giving him a break.
Listen, but if you would have benched him for that, the man had what 2-3 touchdowns. What's more important?
I don't think
the win is more important than individually doing that. If you're gonna lose your entire locker room over that, that's crazy.
So you gonna
this is my thing.
Butler wasn't they star, bro.
So this is my thing with it. So this is my thing when it comes to NFL, right? The NFL.
You don't know if he got fined or not, bro. You don't know if he got fined or not. This is what you thinking, bro.
But it wasn't the first time he talked to him, though. So obviously he's not listening.
Right? This is what you're thinking.
But I don't know who he talking to. But not necessarily though, right? So this is the thing with the NFL. Yes, it is a professional game, right? Yes, these are grown ass men. However, when it comes to a team game, not an individual game, a team game, I don't think he should have got. So when you say bench, Dane, I guess for me, for clarity purposes,
like
are you saying that he shouldn't have got? Are you saying that George should have been benched the whole game?
I would say at least a quarter. I would say a quarter.
Okay,
maybe a quarter.
So this is my thing with Pickens, right? I don't think he should have got benched. I don't think he should have got benched. I think that he does have maturity issues. And Faulkner came out and said it. Tomlin came out and said it. The thing that I say the immaturity about Pickens, regardless if we trying to win a game or not, that's toxic to the locker room. It can be toxic to the locker room. But when you talk about Pickens, it's just the fact that
in your mind, bro, like, you don't know what's going in there.
Nah, but not check it though. But check it though. As a former teammate, if my teammate, but as a former player, if my teammate did that, we have a problem. Nah, but as a former teammate, watching another player do that,
you don't know if they had a problem or not, bro. You wasn't in that locker room.
Well, you heard Jalen.
I will say, you don't know what happened.
You heard Jalen, but you heard Jalen.
They did came out. Cam, if you listen to Cam Hayward's
they
podcast,
said they need to grow up.
Nah, Cam said they spoke to him. They said they spoke to George, so they did handle it. I don't think Benson handled see Benson works in high school. Benson works in high school. Benson works in college because you're still trying to get somewhere. If I'm in college playing and I only got at the time
said that John for 2 episodes now.
17, yeah, like at 17, I'm like, damn, Benson hurts me because that's less PT for me. You know, I'm in the league already. Like I'm under contract. Either you gonna cut me, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Benson don't help.
That's why I said not bench him. That's why I said not bench him. You find them. I mean, if they want to internally, they can find him. But I don't think you bench him because it doesn't help him grow. It doesn't. And the only reason why I say you don't bench him because it ain't going to help him grow from that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to help him.
Let me ask Pitts and Dex. You guys both play.
Yeah.
Let's say that you're George Pickens. What would your reaction be if in the team meeting they played those clips of you standing there while Jalen Warren was getting lunched?
I own it.
Everybody's clowning you. Everybody's clowning you.
As a player, bro, that hurts.
I own it. That hurts. As a player, that hurts. If I did that, I'm going to apologize to my brother because I messed up.
Hey, yo, young
I could have got him hurt. I could have got him hurt.
I'm with you. This is crazy.
I could have got him hurt.
You don't have to do public humiliation by benching them. You can do that in-house. And we don't know what happened.
Right. In-house, if I'm talking Dex, if I'm in the locker room with Dex, and
but what happened to the highlight? It's a highlight tape of George Pickens blocking, bro.
But hold on though. If I'm in the locker room with if I'm in the locker room with Dex, and I whiffed on something that Dex could have got hurt on. That's me.
There's more plays of him blocking than him
not blocking. My bad, Dex. I own that, Dex. I didn't block for you. I was out of line for that.
We're gonna move on here because I think we could probably go back and forth for a long time on this. But we're gonna go ahead. I feel like I've been
because this don't make sense. Yes, D. Let's move on. This don't make sense.
Yeah, we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about Seattle because we're already at an hour. This is crazy. So let's talk about the Seattle game. They're going to Seattle. I don't know if the team that showed up on Saturday on Acrisure Stadium, is going to Lumen Stadium. I hope everybody and the mentality and the game plan, whether they smooth it over, gets to Lumen Field and performs. There's a toss up between Kenny and Mason. I truly think that they'll go with Mason. I know Kenny kind of came out, or I saw somewhere that Kenny came out and said that he's like, I'm good. I just need them to be like, I need them to get on board with how I'm feeling. Show of hands, show it. Just raise your hand. You ain't got to say nothing. If you want Mason Rudolph to start, raise your hand. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go to you since you ain't have your hand up. Oh wait,
because I know. I seen Kenny last week. I seen Kenny last week, man. He not ready. I know Kenny not ready this week.
Okay, so you want Mason. So you good on Mason.
Kenny's not ready this week.
Kenny
Kenny need to be 130%. We don't.
Okay, so everybody thinks Mason should play this week. And as we go in here, I think Geno Smith will be playing. We'll see Devin Bush again and reunion with Devin Bush and Artie Burns, who we also drafted, and it will be interesting. It's a tough place to play. The Steelers don't win there often. I don't remember the last time they won there.
If Devin Bush is playing, run that rock because he is trash. Trash.
What's the other guy that's always hurt that they paid a lot of money to?
Wagner?
No.
What, a linebacker?
Defense?
They pay him a lot of money.
Jamal Adams.
Yes, Adams. Yes,
Jamal
Adams. I was like, they
Adams.
pay him a whole lot of money.
His ankle been going in and out since the season started.
Yeah, Jamal
Run
Adams.
that rock.
He said Kenny not ready any week.
Yeah, Kenny got
I wasn't trying to do all that.
attitude problem.
Do y'all really believe Kenny is upset? Like,
Dex,
I don't believe.
Hold on, Dex. Based off what, Dex?
He just looked like he always trying to prove himself because he never started off on a right foot consistently. So it's like, when they asked him, did you learn anything from watching Mason play? No, you ain't learned nothing. You ain't learned to stay in the pocket.
I would be mad at that question too. I'll be mad at that question too. I'm the starter. I'm the franchise guy. Don't ask me no questions like that. How can I learn from somebody that's the third quarterback?
You think he was mad at the question, or he just said no?
He said
he was mad at the question. If anything, I didn't hear.
It was like a Tomlin no. It was like a no. You know, Tomlin,
man.
No,
he ain't had to talk to. Did he talk to the media last week?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on there. It's on
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't remember if he talked to the media last week. I don't be paying attention that much to the media anymore because it just frustrates me.
They ask some crazy questions. Yeah, they trying to get something out.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's the media's fault. I just know what it gets turned into, right? So I just try to eliminate myself. I forced to see some of it, but I do like watching Tomlin because I feel like Tomlin don't care. He's gonna, he gonna do his thing. However, I just feel like it wasn't something to blow out of proportion. Like, did you feel like you learned anything? I mean, no. Like what? Like I'm with these guys day in and day out. Like we won a game. We played team ball. Like these are the guys that I've been in the trenches with. So to say like, yeah, I learned something. Like, what did you learn? What do you think he would have said? What would you have said? What did you learn?
That question before we answer that question was equivalent to when that reporter asked Kyrie Irving, "Is LeBron like a father figure to you?"
Oh,
it's equivalent to that. It's equivalent to that. Like, don't ask me no stupid questions like that, yo. Like
disrespectful.
You think it's stupid, Dave? Are you cool with the question? What would you say, Dave?
Do quarterbacks learn standing on the sidelines?
They should.
They supposed
to.
Do
they learn sitting in the booth? So what is he doing standing on the sidelines or in the booth? What is he doing? Is he learning anything? What is he doing on the sideline?
Let me tell you something.
Contributing with this.
Aaron Rodgers sat.
So he's not ready to be a quarterback then. He's not ready then.
Thank you. That was my point.
He should be studying and learning. I know it's Mason, but you know what? Mason played a great game. And he could have.
Y'all mad because he.
Dave, what would you say? I hear your logic, but I'm asking you. I'm asking you to answer the question. Logic and answering the question when there's a mic and cameras in your face. Did you learn something? Standing back on the sideline. Did you learn something, man?
Yes, I did.
What'd you learn?
In the locker room, you talking from emotion, not logic, though.
Yeah,
in the locker room, we're talking from emotion, not logic. So I'm gonna say no. Why am I answer yes? I'm not gonna say yes because no. Why are we asking? Why am I being asked this question? No.
Or I'm gonna be condescending. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna be like,
I know why you ask
it. Steelers really love Mason Rudolph. Like I'm gonna throw it back at you. You know what I mean?
He was very condescending in that no. Watch that clip. I'm telling you, he answered it like a female. No,
did y'all see the whole interview though?
Yeah,
because I didn't see the whole interview because you'll see a 5 second
soundbite
interview, and somebody could have had a rude question before, or you have no idea what could have struck the attitude.
I'm not learning from the third string quarterback.
No, but it's ways you could have answered that. You could have just said. You could have just said.
34 points though.
He's learning from me. He's learning.
You could have just said, "Yo, I learned to be a little patient in the pocket." Next question, that's.
But I didn't learn that. I wasn't out there. I didn't learn that.
You gotta remember,
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for how long?
Steve Young did the same thing.
I'm going to Dave.
Kenny is a competitor. You can't ask competitors. I'm pretty sure y'all were competitors. I don't know what level of football y'all played. Y'all say I played too. But no one's gonna ask me that type of question.
His answer.
No, you're right.
He was asked if
Like,
he learned
it's like-
anything, and he said no.
Well, he's
Right.
a fool then.
You know, it doesn't mean that he wasn't
I will-
watching the game.
He's a
I
fool.
mean,
Right. And I'm
why
like,
not
what
just
is
way
he
he
accept
saying?
answered it.
What does
You
it
gotta
matter
read
one way or the
behind
other?
how he said it. He said it like very
He
emotional.
said
He wants
no.
to play, man. He
Y'all
wants to be
are
the reason
putting-
why
he
we
said
win. Y'all
two
remember
All
he
right, so
telling
I
us
tell
that?
you what. I tell you what. If he ain't
Y'all
learned
crazy.
nothing, and he don't have to learn nothing, he better play well next time he get on that
Well,
field.
and y'all,
He better
and-
play
and
well the next time he get on that field. Then
This is
he
the
better.
other
Hey,
If
thing.
he
hey,
don't
hey,
have
I
to
mean,
learn
Dave, what
anything,
you're saying
play
is
well.
absolutely. That's
Play
absolutely.
well.
I agree with that 100%.
Hey,
just
But
Kev
saying.
is funny.
I want any quarterback that's
Kev is
playing
funny.
should be able to go out there and play.
You would
better
think
play
with a
well
busted
next
ankle,
time.
he would want to stay in the pocket.
I can't with you, Kev.
Y'all are so
I
mean because
can't
why
with you.
are the players obligated to tell
I
the
can't with
media
you, Kev.
100% truth?
You're not obligated. Just don't say some
So
stupid
why
ass
are you
like that.
mad? Why are you mad because someone doesn't go through a lengthy explanation?
No,
don't
it
have
don't gotta
to
be
explain.
You know what?
lengthy.
You don't
Maybe
have to
I'm
say
no.
tripping. I think I'm the one that's
You
tripping.
know what? I'm more
'Cause he
interested
want Mike
in what
Tomlin
color
going.
gloves
I should
Joey
expect
Porter's
this
going to
from
wear
him.
in the next game.
Maybe I'm tripping.
And I'm
Yeah,
hoping
I
that they're
know.
neon green.
He can say I can do better in some instances. He ain't just have to
That's
say
it.
no.
Bruh,
He's
that's not
not
what she asked
playing.
him. That's not
He
what she
wants
asked
to
him. She
play.
said, "Did you learn something?"
He
She
wants
didn't
to
ask
play,
him,
so
"Can you
maybe
be
he needs
better?"
to play
She said,
better.
"Did you learn
And he
something?"
will
No,
play.
you good.
Yeah, I learned a
Hey,
lot.
yo,
Next
yo.
question.
Hey,
I learned a
listen,
lot.
I'm
Next
not even
question.
saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because they're gonna say, "Oh, how to starting quarterback." Oh, he said he learned from the third string. They're gonna play.
I can't
They're
believe
gonna
y'all.
play.
Y'all are driving me nuts.
He
He
ain't
ain't
Like,
been the
being
starting
mad at him is
quarterback
crazy.
for 3
But
weeks.
David brought up a conversation about Joey Porter and his glove color. I don't know which uniforms the Seahawks are wearing. Would you recommend him going with a dark blue, a lime green, a white
Ben
glove
said it too.
on
Ben said
Sunday?
it too.
I saw
Whatever
that
color
report
that
too.
the Seahawks are wearing that day. That's what color I want to see.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that
this is what
too.
happens
That
when George Pickens have a good game. We talk about stuff like this.
I,
Gloves, like
I saw that
I'm
too,
cool with
Kev.
George Pickens. I was
I
so
saw
happy.
I saw that clip too, and I think it was somebody posted it on IG saying that JPJ should
Ben
wear the
said it,
colors.
and then I
Oh
think Alex
yeah,
Core from
right.
Steelers
Ben,
Info.
right. Ben said he should wear the color of the opposing team so he won't
Because
get
Patrick
called for holding
Peterson
so
was
much.
wearing white gloves against the
That's
Bengals. Of course, they had their
hilarious.
white jerseys on. I mean, he's a vet.
I
That's
don't think the
It's a
gloves
veteran
matter.
move to me.
Yeah.
We
shout
trying to
out
be
to him, man.
chameleons.
He tacked better.
What'd you
He
say?
is tackling better. Shout out to
He's
Joey
stepping his
Porter.
play up still.
But just because it's been brought up in the topic of discussion, if a media person, I'm going back to this, a media went into the room to Joey Porter and be like, "Did you learn something today?"
No, you
And
No,
going back
say
to
no.
that?
No. Say no.
if
I
he
ain't
said
learned
no,
nothing. No, I ain't learned
He a
nothing.
rookie, man. He's
if he
actually
said
really
no,
learning from
they're the same
everybody.
dudes we played
He's
2
not.
weeks
He's
ago.
not the franchise
Like no,
quarterback.
Nope. Say no.
no.
He's not the
The way
franchise
I'll
quarterback,
evaluate
and
if he
he's
learned
playing.
anything is by what color gloves he's wearing on Sunday.
Just say
Right.
no.
Y'all crazy, man.
That's
That
He
funny.
no
wouldn't
is
even give.
that
He can
no
say
is if no is throwing you for a loop. I can't imagine what you would have said if he said yes. Okay.
I think
Like
it's
It
crazy.
would have been
I
great.
think
It
I
would have
think
been
it's
great.
crazy that out of the
the media
game
would
that
have cooked
JPJ
Kenny,
had,
yo.
I think
Oh
it's crazy
man.
that the game that JPJ had against T. Higgins, the most we talk about is his gloves.
no,
Well,
yeah. I
the
mean, he
only
did.
reason
Like,
I bring up the
listen, he
gloves
gonna
is
get
Not
you a
because
not
of the
you,
penalty
Dave.
that
Not
he
you,
was
Dave.
called on.
No, not you, Dave. I seen that too. Not that you brought it up because I seen somebody else brought that up too, and I just was like, dang, like he had a good game against T. Higgins, and we talking about his gloves. I understand the logic behind it because he gets called for holding a lot, so it blends in, so they really can't see. At the end of the day, if he pulling, they gonna see his jersey. So I don't
he's
even
been
like.
called on that either PI or holding every game, right? So they're gonna do it.
He
No one
has
should be surprised by that, though.
accepted penalties. 6 of them are DPIs or defensive holding.
Yeah.
If y'all watch this guy's college tape, y'all should have pulled from this in the NFL. He's gonna get called for being handsy a lot.
Right. And
It's gonna
Deontay
take a
Johnson
little
said
time for him to
that.
But
start
they
hiding that.
said
Deontay
we live
Johnson
with it
said that
though.
to him. Yeah, Deontay.
Yeah, no, I
but
watched
Deontay
that
Johnson
camp,
taught him that too.
and that was the battle that him and JPJ were having on the on the drills that they were doing at camp. He kept telling him, he's like, "You're not in college no more. Wash some hands. You can't do that." Like he was really snapping at him as they were going through their drills in the Trove about his hands. So that was
That's
my
going to take
first.
time.
And
He's physical.
I'm a casual with college. That was
With
my first
receivers.
inkling. I was like, okay, let me start watching. And then I started watching him, and I'm like, he is very physical. He is very, touchy feely. And
You're gonna have to
and I
adapt.
think it's normal for a
Adapt.
guy to have to get used to, just like he had to quickly adapt to the tackling thing. He was struggling there, right? So I think you give him some grace, but you also got to recognize you can't be putting us in bad situations, and there have been instances where he has, and I think he's getting a little bit better. I'll
I
take
say
one
this: if he's
again.
doing
Don't
this
give me
5
2,
years
3
from
again.
now, if he's doing this 5 years from now, we should like get him out of here. Like as far as like talking about why he's doing it, not his first year.
Can I ask you a question though? So if he's
Go
doing
ahead.
it 5 years from now, who's coaching him up to stop doing that?
Oh
I ain't
God,
saying Tomlin.
He has to do it. You
I'm
can.
not saying Tomlin.
Come on.
I'm
Hey,
not
all
saying
right.
Tomlin. I'm talking about.
I'm not even.
Brown.
I wasn't going to even go in there. You can
Huh?
coach somebody to do something the right way 1,000 times. It's up to the player to take that information, take that coaching, and display that on the field with physical reps. You can be told to do something, but when you get on the field, you probably still can't do it. You feel me? That's something that Joey Porter Jr. has to work on his like for himself. Like he can get all the love. I mean the advice from the other
Joey
players and
just
whatnot.
has to.
He has to do it.
But Joey
will.
doubled
just
down.
has to,
He said he's going to keep playing the way he's playing.
Yeah,
And I kind of
he did.
Yeah, of
admire
course he gonna
that.
say
I
that.
mean, he has confidence, and I like the
Mhm.
confidence. Maybe
He's gonna
it's
learn
that.
better ways to hide what he's doing.
How
Yeah.
do you think this DK Metcalf and Joey Porter Jr. matchup is going to
Ooh
go?
la la.
They not
Must see.
calling
They're
nothing
not
on
gonna.
Joey
He
playing.
not.
They not calling
That's
nothing.
gonna be
They
the
not
best
Do
calling
you
game
nothing.
for
think it
Joey
could
Porter
go
Jr.
either way? Do you see offensive pat like because DK Metcalf is mad physical. He's he's
Strong.
done some
I think they're
crazy
gonna let him
things.
Yeah,
go.
He gets
They're
you
yeah,
gonna
they
let
off
gonna
them
him.
let him
go.
rock. They gonna let him rock.
They're gonna let them
D-
go.
DK will
They
get
gonna
you
let him
off
rock.
him.
I bet you DK ain't gonna score a touchdown though. I believe JPJ streak gonna
Mm,
keep going. No
mm.
tutties. No tutties.
I'm with that. I'm with that. I put
So you
something on
got
No
that.
what?
tutties.
I'm
Tyler
with that.
Lockett, DK Metcalf. I don't remember who else.
And that other boy, Dr. Dude, whatever his name is.
and
He's a
and, Ju-
rookie.
and you got Smith and Jigba
Yeah,
from
and
Ohio
Jigba.
State.
I said that Jagger,
Okay, yeah,
whatever.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
that
you
name.
got Jigba
Okay,
from Ohio State.
I don't know, man. That would be an interesting battle with DK. I think they will definitely send help because he's just. I used to call him a specimen.
Is Kenny
he was
Walker
just
playing this week?
who.
Is Kenny
I
Walker
think
playing
he
this
is.
week?
I think he is.
JPJ ain't gonna
But
need no help with Metcalf.
he's not. He's gonna
He's
be
not
able
gonna
to
need
do
help.
everything that he was doing in college to DK.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. The refs
JPJ
are gonna be
got
like, "Oh, that's good."
6 feet.
I'm
He got
I'm leaning
6
on your
foot
optimism
arms.
for that.
He has
I
6
don't
foot
even think
arms.
DK gonna get more than 6 targets for real.
Exactly.
I'll go out on a limb and say that he won't even get 6 targets.
What
Not
you say,
total
D?
I
targets.
can't even.
AD, in your words,
Scrap
that's spicy.
City. Scrap City.
That's spicy.
Yeah,
They're
to
going
see what
scrappy.
he said.
Yeah.
No, what's the thing they do now? Is this like a no fly zone? What does this mean? Well, he does this thing now. Is that like you can't like no fly zone or something like this?
I ain't
Y'all
see that
know?
one
Y'all
yet.
didn't
I
y'all
didn't
ain't
see
catch this?
that.
I ain't see that one
I
yet.
think
I
there
know
might be
Scrap.
signals to the sideline.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't been doing this. He's been doing this one.
I
But I
think
don't know
I'm
if
going
that
to
was.
score.
I'm gonna
I'm going
say
to
it's no
score.
fly zone.
I
But
think Seattle's going to try to. They know that that's what JPJ does. So I think they're going to try to exploit that and try to cause some penalties. I think.
It's
I
hard
mean,
to
don't
do it
forget
when
Tyler
your
Lockett
receiver is
though.
just as physical. You can't pull that off.
Yeah.
He's
And
too big to
that's where
flop.
going back to our discussion about the edge in the front seven. That's where they got to get pressure in there.
I don't
So
see.
that they
I don't
don't
see
have time.
Metcalf.
Because if you give them too much time, then I mean, you could be an all-pro defensive back. You're still going to have a hard time covering a guy for 4 or 5 seconds. So they've got to
I think we're
put
gonna be
pressure
fine
on the
there.
quarterback.
All right,
I
let's
think
go around the
because
room with
Gino
some predictions. Dave, what's your
got sacked like a
prediction?
couple
I'll start
times.
with you, Dave, and then I'll go Dex. Your prediction for the Seattle Seahawks, what you think they need to do, what you think the score is going to be, all that good stuff.
Who's
Talking
Seattle
to me?
quarterback again? Lock?
No,
Geno
it's
Smith.
Nah,
Gino.
It's going to be
Gino.
Gino.
Gino? I think
Go ahead,
Seattle
Dave.
wins. I think Seattle wins. I think we score about 17 points. That's a tough place to play. Um, I'll say 20-17. We got to play like we played last week. I think their pass defense is what, 26 or something to that effect. We may be able to exploit that. So I say we open it up as far as throwing the ball is concerned. Don't be afraid to take any chances like we did last week. But
So I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. We played a lot of defensive zone last week, as opposed to like the man coverage that we're used to playing. Do you think that carries
Do you
over
think
into Seattle?
that carries over into
Sorry, Jane got feedback again.
Sorry, Jane got feedback again.
So do you think that defensive scheme of playing zone will go back to what will happen in Seattle? No.
I think they need to change. You can't.
You can't keep
You know,
doing the same thing.
Seattle
Zone.
has film on Mason Rudolph. One set of film.
Right.
They've also have a set of film on how Pittsburgh adjusted losing Minka and DeMonte Kazee. And so now that they have to change up what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that it surprised Cincinnati that they played so much zone. But you see, Seattle's seen that, so they're going to need to have another wrinkle, I think.
Yeah.
So
Gotta give you different looks.
I think that they should play a man zone. I think they should play a man zone because of they can exploit us. Well, I don't know because I don't know who we playing at linebacker. That's the thing because they
Miles Jack.
Miles Jack.
Yeah, but you got Miles. I heard they was letting Weston get some burn. What's his name? What's his name?
Denzel.
No, the guy from the Giants. He used to be on the Giants.
Gutierrez.
Garcia.
The guy we picked up with Miles Jack a couple weeks ago. Martinez.
Blake Martinez. I don't know how they play because
I don't know our linebackers.
I don't remember seeing him cover tight ends. And you remember they got Hawkinson. They got a tight end.
Oh, that's who that tight end is. I could not remember their tight end.
Yeah, they got Fant.
Huh?
They got Fant.
They got Noah Fant too?
They got Fant. Ain't he their tight end?
Nah, Fant.
The dude from Denver.
I thought he was hurt.
He's in Seattle. I don't know if he's still hurt.
Let me see what the injury. I'll pull up the injury report.
Well, listen,
he said he got traded again.
I thought so.
Those are
I thought he was
two world
beating. Oh, never mind.
Those are two world beating tight ends.
Blake Martinez.
Yes, right. Blake Martinez. I don't know how he plays in coverage. That's been our problem. Our mid-level coverage has been very sus. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna still say Steelers win, maybe 24-21, because I think we're gonna have to kick our way out of this one. Because Seattle's pass rush is kind of, if they start going, they go. And if Mason
is on.
They got two. Right. All right. They got two fat boys in the middle that can rush. Two big defensive, and Mason Cole, he got to eat some spinach, some creatine or something because I feel like he's the weak link. Like, you have a gate like this, Mason Cole, and it always folds in, and then everything else just collapses. And Mason Rudolph done show he ain't leaving that pocket. He's not leaving that pocket, and he shouldn't have to. So Mason Cole, he need to put on his big boy points because he's going to go for a ride. Or hopefully he can stand his ground. It's so funny. You really can't help the center, especially if they run. I seen them last week running a 5 down. I seen them running a four-man line, a 4-man front. I seen them running a 5 down. If it's 5 down, and they only got them 2 linebackers right there, which was Wagner and Bush, every man for themselves. You can't help them. The guards can't help Mason, and it happens every time. It's annoying. I pray to God that we draft O-lineman next year.
A lot of guys did not practice for the Seahawks. I think a lot of them are resting, especially veterans. But there are a lot of guys that were. Jamal Adams was limited. Devin Witherspoon, that's one of the corners I was concerned
Yeah,
about. I thought he wasn't going to play, but it looks like he was limited in practice, so he might play. He has a hip injury. Um,
Quadra
Quandre
Diggs.
Diggs,
That's the one.
he's
the
not.
safety.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
one that we gotta
safety.
watch out for.
He did it. He's resting, so he was limited in practice. There's no injury here, so a lot of the guys they rested him today.
He gets
Uh,
flagged a lot too for
Uh,
necessary roughness.
yeah, but he's
Quadre
a thump.
Diggs.
He's a thumper
and
for
so
sure.
Kenneth Walker is their running back. He has a shoulder / illness, so he did not practice also. But like I
He
said, a
played
lot of guys
last
that
week.
got
He
practice
played
today.
last week though.
He's gonna
I
play.
know he's gonna play because he played last week with the same injury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So it'll
I
be
think
interesting.
I think
Dex, what's
score
your
wise.
score? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Dex.
Did you give a score prediction, Dex?
Yeah, I said 24-21 us.
Okay.
Relying on the leg of my man.
Chris
Bones.
Boswell?
We're gonna bounce our way out this game.
All right. I don't know. I don't know what the weather's going to be, but that'll be interesting. Wind wise and all that good stuff out there. Go ahead, Pitts. What you got?
I got us 19-10. I think defensively, I think it's going to be more of a situational football type game. I think it's going to be more of a situational football type game.
Dang got us again.
Dang
Go
got
ahead.
us.
Dang.
He's spamming us. Nah, I think it's going to be a defensive. I mean, I think it's going to be a situational football, ball placement, who can, what special teams can give the advantage. But I like us 19-10.
1910. Okay. Who else? Who we got? Kev.
Yeah.
Let me get you, Kev, and then I'll go to Dave.
I'm gonna have to say mine for Friday. You feel me? I do my stuff on
Okay.
Friday and all that, so I need time to think. You feel me? But all I'm gonna say is, I don't care who's playing for the Seahawks. It don't matter. Nameless gray faces. Can't be scared, man. No matter who
I
playing.
feel that. I feel that. What you got, David?
I don't have a score prediction yet, but I'll say
Mhm.
this. One of the things that Pittsburgh did not do on offense is they didn't throw to the tight ends. Pat
Nope.
Freiermuth he was not
Darnell had
targeted
one
a
catch.
single time.
Connor didn't have a catch. Darnell didn't have a catch. I mean, Darnell had a catch.
He had one catch. That was the only tight end
Yeah.
catch, the only target, and the only catch the entire game. Freiermuth had 0.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hoping to see is and maybe the wrinkle that they're going to put in is to emphasize Freiermuth and maybe have another big game. Maybe get a few more passes to Darnell
Mm-hmm.
and maybe get Connor involved in the game.
I
Again,
do love me some
he
Connor.
wasn't
I
really
miss
involved
Connor.
in the game.
They speaking on Connor, they use him wrong, and I'm sick of it. Everything they throw to him
He's better than
usually
a
is
special teams player. Okay.
yeah, but then he can throw, he can catch, but stop throwing behind the line of scrimmage plays thinking he's gonna run. He's not a scat back.
Put him in the middle of the field.
Yeah, like he can catch. He
Put him in the
showed
middle
that. I
of the
don't
field.
know
Put him at
why they always
linebacker.
throw it.
Put him at linebacker.
Yeah, and what concerns
him
me is
everywhere.
the defense because the defense is look. I mean, our top 4 safeties were out of the last game. Now Townsend, he's back practicing. Minka didn't practice, so it doesn't look good for him to be playing. And they got a couple really good receivers, so that has me very, very concerned. And if they just come out and play what they did against Cincinnati, well, they've seen that. They're going to scheme against that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how they're going to adapt. And it could be a long day unless they can get this offense to have an encore. I mean, if they get the defense or the offense to have an encore, well, then maybe we'll surprise them, because I think the last time we beat Seattle in Seattle, I think was 2003. I think it's been a long time.
It's not. It's
But they don't play them
not a
that
good
often
track
out
record
there.
over there at all. So, Dane, there was something I wanted to ask you, Dane. What was it? Dang. I'm mad. I'm gonna remember as soon as we close out the show, and I'm gonna be
Is it
so
about Mike Tomlin?
It's not about my song. Oh, it is. Thank you for that. So, Christmas. And happy belated Christmas and happy Kwanzaa to everybody that celebrates and stuff.
I'm having problems
So,
with my Wi-Fi, so just bear with me.
okay. Well, let me try to hurry up and get this out for you. Kyle Shanahan played the Baltimore Ravens, his team, on Christmas. And I was just thinking, like, dang, Dane just really wants a coach from the Kyle Shanahan tree to come to Pittsburgh. And I was thinking, how many coaches from the Shanahan tree have beat the Baltimore Ravens?
I don't have that answer.
Oh,
But they struggled with Baltimore, but I think it was more of those turnovers by the quarterback Purdy. I just think that,
Baby.
was he 4 interceptions and
Listen,
stuff like that.
it's the
3.
Shanahan system, right?
And they came out hot, 49ers, but it's that interception
Did
in the
they?
end zone.
Did they?
Yeah, they started hot until the interception in the end zone, which after that it just fell apart. So
momentum.
They started out with their
out hot.
play calling was not a play calling strategy I would use against the Baltimore Ravens when I have Christian McCaffrey on my team. I understand George Kittle, but you have Deebo Samuels and you have Christian McCaffrey and you have a Baltimore defense that is not that great at stopping the run. They're really good in coverage. You have Kyle Hamilton. Do you know, I forget how many picks he got? You got the guys, Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, like that can get to the quarterback. However, run the ball. Run the ball down their throat. You saw what the Rams did when they went to Baltimore and got and ran the ball down on the Baltimore Ravens. You have Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels who could just run through people too. And you decide to just go happy-go-lucky and throw the ball. You set your quarterback up for failure because you were trying to play MVP ball. You were trying to have an MVP off instead of putting your team in the best position to win. And I'm sorry to go on this rant, but it just makes me mad because people put Kyle Shanahan on this pedestal, but Kyle Shanahan messes up too. He's unprepared too.
Hey, this is the same Kyle Shanahan from the Super Bowl.
They said that,
let me say something real quick. Let me address a comment real quick. Young Boy said we should use kind of like Taysom Hill. That's what he was trying to do right there.
He said
we
what?
Did.
They tried to do that. It didn't work out.
We should look.
They tried.
We did. Well, he almost threw a pick. So,
so
we can't use him like that. We can't use him like that.
Hey, they said that Kyle Shanahan called the game like that because they didn't want to let loose everything because they might need it in the Super Bowl. That's what they say. That's what they said.
The Patriots said that about the Giants and lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants.
Exactly.
We ain't doing that.
So D, to answer your question, that's a good point. But I'm still taking him now. I'm still
taking somebody from his tree.
Yes.
You're not taking him. You're taking a leaf from the tree.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I think Kyle Shanahan has shown, I mean, he can be a great play caller, but when the moments and the lights are bright and big, he stumbles and falls. I go back to that Super Bowl.
How many
I go back to that Super Bowl with Atlanta.
Trees have, coaches from his tree have gone and beat the Ravens, and how frequently has that happened?
I mean, but you got to look at it.
But not like McDaniels. I'll give McDaniels.
Lamar only got one loss against NFC teams.
I'm not talking about NFC. I'm talking about the Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, the tree. Oh.
Because he wants somebody from the Shanahan tree. I know Coach Tomlin can beat the Baltimore Ravens.
It's the potential to do very well. So that's what I want. That's what
it's potential to beat everybody but them.
Yo, you know what I noticed?
Yeah.
I noticed when we played.
I mean, we still beat the Ravens. So I mean, come on now. We still beat
when we played the
Mike
Raiders.
Tomlin has beat the Ravens with way less than whatever Kyle Shanahan got. Way less.
Jamie Foxx, man. Any given Sunday, anything can happen.
You ever see how they play Lamar Jackson though? Like every team, like when he starts running, they're so scared to tackle him, they do like the side by side, and he just do his little skibbity paps and gets little feet, little inches, little inches, little inches. I'm
I
like,
think
why they don't
I
just
think
hit this man?
I think it's more the fact that he's so elusive that they don't want to take a bad angle shot and miss. So they trying to. It's like they trying to
People
walk next to
underestimate
him.
his athleticism. They really do.
So we do so
No, I'm
differently
talking
now.
in front, but they're like in front of him, not like
Because you're
chasing.
anticipating him
And they're
him
like,
making the move. You're
and
anticipating
he's
him making the move. It makes
literally
you excited.
stepping up, getting Rod. Like I see
Oh,
him get a
David,
first down. I'm sorry.
David, I didn't
Okay.
get your opinion. I'm so sorry. I know we're overtime today. David,
We're overtime today. David, I didn't.
dang, Damn, you
Spam.
getting us. David, can I get your I know you put 27-21 in the chat, but I wanted to get your
Oh
feedback
no,
for
that was for Young Boy. That was the
Oh, okay. I was like, did I get your
that was the
prediction?
score. That was a score that Pittsburgh won back in 1983. That was the last time Pittsburgh won in Seattle.
Oh,
And
okay.
I believe
1983.
that was the score.
Okay. Did you gave me your Seattle Seahawks prediction though, right?
I talked about what they needed to do, but I don't have
Yeah.
the score.
Oh yeah, you don't have a score. Okay. I was like, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I know we went on a
Yeah.
tangent there because I wanted to highlight Dane. Let me see what Dane posted. Oh gosh, no. You gotta come back. You gotta come back. But I wanted to wrap it up. We went a little over today, but I know we just kind of went down a few rabbit holes. I think I got off everything on my list. Dane is also the one that doesn't like Renegade. That's who I was taking a shot at in the beginning of the show.
I don't like
What else?
Renegade either.
Who don't like Renegade? Okay.
I don't like Renegade.
That's two. And we talked about George Pickens. We talked about Steelers MVP. We talked about Mason and Rudolph.
Mason
I
and
meant
Rudolph.
Kenny and Rudolph, or Pickett and Rudolph. I said that wrong again. And I went through everything for the most part. So I'll wrap it up here. I don't have a score prediction yet. There's so many things. I want to see the final injury reports, and we'll see what happens. Jane has Seattle winning 31-17, and we'll see. I'll let everybody go around. If you guys want to tell everybody where they can follow you, we'll start with David, then we'll go Pitts, Dex, and then Kev, and then I'll get Dane back up here.
Okay, I'm at Subburger on Twitter or X or whatever that they're calling it, and I'm a contributor to Steelers Depot, and my articles on there are perspective of an average Steelers fan. And every Monday night we do a Steelers town hall if you're on the Clubhouse app. And then this week and next week we did it on Tuesdays, but then after we get past the New Year's, we'll get back to our Monday schedule at 8:30 Eastern time on Mondays.
Cool. I'm Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Catch us on Comcast 77, Verizon 11, YouTube, Facebook. We catch us on everything.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Dex.
You can follow me on X at I am Dex. That's DEKKS. I contribute to everything on any podcast, anywhere. I'm a Brooklyn Steeler, New York and now, we got to represent. Yeah, let's go. Like to go.
Hey, go ahead, Kev. I heard you got 1 million on TikTok over there, Kev. What's up?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. You feel me? Shout out to you for letting people know that. But yeah, I mean, but thank y'all. But Stills for 7 podcast everywhere, man. All the platforms. On Twitter, just knock the cast off. I'm right there still. You feel me? Stills for 7 podcast Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays and Fridays. Check that out. It's on all platforms: Spotify, iTunes. Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to your podcast at, and YouTube. We got the visuals on there, man. So make sure y'all pay attention because I be talking on there. This is But
all right, go ahead, Dane.
This is fun.
Yeah, go ahead, Dane.
Much respect to all y'all doing the podcast. Proud of all of y'all. I'm low key. I'm just a Twitter guy. I don't do any podcasts too much. Just a big Steeler fan. Just go about my business and just
we love
enjoy.
You. We love you, Ben. Okay. All right. So that's it. I just want to wrap up. I didn't even start the show with saying, happy holidays. I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. When I talk to you again, it'll be a new year. Yeah, it'll be a new year. So happy new year. Everybody stay safe. Thanks for joining. Hey, thanks you for everybody. Young boy, as a Quaylen, Ali, Ken, Frank, TJ, who, if I missed you, I'm sorry. Everybody that came in the comment section. We'll be back. I feel like I'm going to have to do 2 shows next week. So we'll see. I don't know for sure, but I just feel it in my spirit. We might have to do this twice next week. Okay. We'll see what the playoffs implications are, but the Steelers have to win. I didn't bring up playoffs because I don't want to talk about them until after Saturday. If not, I'm wasting my time. Okay.
Just win.
All right.
Just win.
I mean, Sunday,
Saturday.
after Sunday. All
Oh, I was
right.
about to say we play Saturday again.
All right. So y'all have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll holler at y'all next week. Thanks for coming through, y'all.
Take care, D.
Take
All
care.
right, y'all. This was a good one, y'all.